Welcome back to the Make You a Better Public Speaker. Today is lesson 108, and we are talking about Reductio ad absurdum. Latin/Greek, Reductio ad absurdum simply means reduction to absurdity. Reductio, Latin, reduce, ad, ad, to absurdum. Absurdity. Typically, this is used in argumentative speeches where someone uses their argument or counter argument to argue the opponent's points to, if you go to that extreme, it will be absurd. If you logically follow this person, you're going to follow some absurd consequences. All right, so here are three reasons why you can incorporate some reductio ad absurdum to your debates, presentations, when you're trying to counter argue something. Also, I'll give you some examples of some funny ones that I know you've heard of before, or maybe you haven't. But either way, they're pretty well used. But number one is highlight logical inconsistencies. Right? Again, in debate, persuasive speaking, one of the things you have to use is logos, which is logic. So when you're counter arguing or even rebutting another argument, you have to be able to logically counter argue the other person's inconsistencies to get the audience or just crowd to kind of go for what you're doing. So, for example, if someone argues that we should eliminate all government regulations, every single one, no exception, this as an argument, you use reductio ad absurdum to counter argue. Well, if we get rid of all regulations, all government regulations, this would get rid of food safety, environmental pollution, work safe hazards, which obviously are clearly undesirable outcomes. So this argument shows that if we follow their logic by getting rid of all government regulations, it's absurd. So, pretty easy. Number two, emphasizing extreme consequences. Right? So again, when we're trying to make something really important, right? The extreme consequences. If we do this, this will happen and it won't be great. So you use a counter argument. For example, if we're discussing excessive militarization, let's put all our money into the military. Well, what happens is it affects every aspect of your country. North Korea, talking to you, North Korea, probably will never see this anyways. But that's the idea. When you're talking about politics and we're talking about different aspects in a debate, let's put all our money or all our eggs in one basket. Well, here's the counter if we do that. The rest of this area is going to fall. So you use reductio ad absurdum to say this is absurd if we follow this. Number three, engaging the audience to critically think, right? In some cases, you're not really trying to entertain your audience. You're trying to make them think. You're trying to get them to think logically and get them to your side, right? And that's really important. But again, your job as in a debate is to like pretty much crush the other opponent's points, make it illogical. So making them think, you propose rhetorical questions, and when you use reductio ad absurdum, it's going to allow the audience to sit there and think about the alternate options. So, an example, when you're talking about, let's say, universal health care, where this is a big topic in America, what you could do to counter this, which is what a lot of people in America do, it's like, well, we have universal health care. That means no matter what operation, no matter what sickness, we're going to be able to take that cost and pay for it. When we all know that some surgeries, open heart surgery, brain surgery, a lot of these surgeries, what they do is they cost hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? Because you only got like 5 doctors in the world that can do certain things. So then how are you going to pay these people a job for something they've done their whole life? And you kind of use that argument that if we get everything across the board free, how are we going to pay for it? And that's the kicker, right? That's what an argument would be. Now, again, in any debate, you can argue both sides of everything. So here are three funny examples you could use in if you're going to have a response, right? So going back to some of the examples of like universal healthcare, you could see that'll happen when pigs fly, right? America will have universal healthcare when pigs fly. Obviously, pigs are never going to fly. Right? Another one would be, say, if someone did something amazing, like unbelievable. So then someone would say it in a conversation. If he did that, then I'm the Prince of Persia. You're not the Prince of Persia. It's not happening. So it's obviously he didn't do that. So again, it's absurd that he did that, because if he did, that means I'm this. And lastly, people say this, and again, this is very American. If this happened, if that is so, if that is true, then call me a monkey's uncle. Right? So again, just a ridiculous phrase to say that that didn't happen, and if it did happen, you can call me this. So excuse me, 3 reasons why you need to use reductio ad absurdum. Again, highlighting logical inconsistencies, emphasizing extreme consequences, and allowing the audience to critically think. So go out there, try to incorporate some, right? Try to go out there and incorporate some reductio ad absurdum to your conversation or speech and become a better public speaker. See you next time.